The Silent Seamstress. In the spring of 1994, Boston's historic South End was shaken by a string of late-night break-ins. Shopkeepers would arrive at dawn to find their doors unlocked, cash drawers emptied, and a single strip of red ribbon left tied to the door handle. The police were convinced the intruder was a man, someone strong enough to pry open old wooden doors without leaving splintered frames, someone who could slip in and out unseen. Witnesses spoke of a tall figure in a dark coat glimpsed beneath the street lamps. The papers nicknamed the thief the Ribbon Man. Over 3 months, the Ribbon Man struck 6 tailor shops, 2 vintage clothing boutiques, and a small bank's night drop box. Nothing else in the shops was touched. Not the mannequins, not the fabric, only the cash. The police profiled a male burglar in his 30s with carpentry skills or locksmith training. Detective Ellen Hart, one of the few women on the precinct, noticed something odd. In every shop, the locks hadn't been forced, they had been picked cleanly, almost delicately. And the ribbon wasn't any ordinary ribbon. It was the kind used for hemming dresses. One rainy night, Hart decided to patrol near the last targeted shop, a decades-old tailor's that specialized in wedding gowns. Around 2 a.m., she saw a slim figure moving quickly down the alley, carrying a flat leather satchel. For a moment, under the flicker of the street lamp, the silhouette looked broad-shouldered just as witnesses had described. But when the person passed closer, Hart noticed the figure's small, gloved hands and a braid tucked beneath a wool cap. Hart followed quietly until the figure slipped a thin steel tool into the tailor's lock. In seconds, the door clicked open without a sound. Hart stepped forward with her flashlight and badge. The startled thief spun around and the cap slid off to reveal a woman in her early 40s. Margaret Doyle, a former seamstress who once worked at that very tailor shop. Margaret confessed in the interrogation room that she'd lost her job after the shop switched to cheaper imports. In the late 80s, years of resentment built up as she watched the street she once worked on thrive, while she struggled to survive. She had taught herself lock-picking using sewing needles and small awls. Her steady hands from years of fine stitching made her an expert at delicate work. She had also worn her late husband's oversized wool coat whenever she went out at night, knowing the silhouette would fool witnesses into thinking the Ribbon Man was tall and male. The so-called Ribbon Man turned out to be a woman scorned by the very industry she had once served. Her quiet skills as a seamstress, the same patience that once sewed bridal gowns had, helped her slip past locks and suspicion alike. Margaret Doyle was sentenced to 5 years for burglary. Even now, shopkeepers in the South End remember how a simple strip of red ribbon tied to a door handle could freeze an entire street in fear. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more mind-blowing and interesting stories.